Well, this is PCMC. If you hear a baby crying, know that that baby is being taken care of.
The baby is safe. That
Yes.
baby is being cared for. That baby is just an ingrate.
Yeah.
Doesn't know how good he has it.
No, they never do.
Yeah.
I'm Mike Buongiorno. I'm joined today by...
Hi, Mike.
There he is. There he is.
He's okay.
He's doing great.
This is going to be a shit show. I'm Mike Buongiorno. I'm joined today by Janine Gagliardi, and that was Bill Gagliardi, and Pistol Pete Gagliardi.
That's Pistol.
So, if I don't know, to catch anyone up, you've had a baby.
Have.
There he is again.
We're putting the children in. Pop culture man children.
Yep. How old is Pete?
He's 3 weeks strong. 3.5 weeks.
Nice.
Yep. There he is. He seems enchanted by you. He's
Good.
like completely transfixed.
But
There he goes.
But what's
There
funny
he
is I am very dangerous to him. If I
Because
were
of-
around him, right? Because I think you're one when you get vaccinated for.
Oh yeah, he has one vaccination that they give in the hospital for hepatitis B,
Yeah.
and I'm actually not sure why they give that one, but that's like they give it to you within like the first day.
Well, kids these days, they get so sexually active so young.
I guess so. And just getting tattoos and stuff, or is that
Yeah.
C? I'm not really sure.
I don't know. Yeah, so I haven't talked about this on the show yet, but I have
Here-
shingles.
Here he is.
Oh my God.
Hi, bud. Bill keeps like just bringing him into the frame and then
Yeah.
bringing him out.
It's like a David Lynch movie.
Oh man,
Yeah, I have shingles. Which,
you're bravely living with shingles.
you know,
And for anyone listening, please, there's a GoFundMe for Mike's shingles. We're gonna buy a mask so no one has to look at him.
hashtag all the Shingle Ladies is where you can find me. I didn't know. Okay, so let's talk about my struggle for a minute, okay?
Okay. Well, honestly, it's like we're all there with you because the shingles virus is living inside of us.
Yeah, it's a little demon just waiting to come out. I don't know why. So I didn't know anything about shingles. I kind of vaguely knew that it had something to do with chicken pox. I thought I couldn't get it because I had chicken pox, which I think a lot of people.
No, it's the only way you can get it is if you had chicken pox.
Yeah, now I know. So I had what I thought was like poison ivy on my face, a rash that was
Because you were like rubbing yourself on the forest floor.
right. And then I also had a headache that lasted about a week straight that I thought was a jaw injury. And no part of me thought that these two ailments were the same thing. I was like,
why would they be?
yeah, I was like, okay, I've got an itchy rash and I have a headache. Life is awful. And then finally, one day, I put my horrible Freddy Krueger face on Facebook, and a friend of mine was like, yeah, that could be shingles. And I was like, I don't know what that is. So I Googled it, and I was like, yeah, that all sounds right. And then I went to an urgent care, and they were like, here, have some Valtrex, which is what they give you, because shingles is a herpes. Chicken pox is herpes.
Mm-hmm.
So that I started Valtrex. That helped, but I was still in crazy amount of pain. That's the thing about shingles that makes it different from chicken pox, which is chicken pox is mostly just the itchy rash, where shingles, it attacks your nerves.
Ooh.
So depending on where you get it, you can have pain anywhere. So the headache that I had for a week straight had nothing to do with my head or my jaw. It was because my rash was on my face and it was sending signals all over. Like I thought there was something wrong with my eye, which there kind of was. My eye is slightly infected. I've been to 1 million doctors this week. I went to my regular doctor. He gave me steroids, which are helping me feel less weak, but I'm still winded by lots of things. The other day I forget what I did, but afterwards I was like, well, that was it for the day. Oh, I went to the eye doctor, and then I came back and was like, whew, what a day. And also the steroids make me sweat like an animal. And then I'm taking this pain medicine at night that like they give to people with seizures because it does something with your nerves.
Oh.
Shingles is weird because it's both not a big deal and super serious at the same time.
But it sounds like it's kind of fun. Like it's got a fun little name.
Shingles. It's like a little leprechaun dancing.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I got the shingles, and then you do like a little shoulder shake.
Yeah.
It's like you got a bad case of chills.
Yeah. That's actually incorrect. It's very painful.
My grandma got shingles kind of where you had it and it did go in her eye, and then she had shingles in her eye.
Getting it on the face is both good and bad.
Mm.
It's good because shingles is often misdiagnosed or just completely not diagnosed in time.
Mm. Wait, what happens if it's not diagnosed in time?
You only have a very small window to take antiviral medicine to slow it down or stop it. Once that window closes, all they can do is treat the pain and wait for it to end. And
that's what happened to my grandma because she didn't go to the doctor.
And if you can't get to the medicine, if you can't take the antiviral medicine in time, you can develop long-term, sometimes even lifelong pain.
Ooh.
Which is the real scary thing. So that's why it's good when it's on your face because people immediately like shingles. But it's bad when it's on your face because if it gets into your eye or your ear, that could be bad.
Mm.
I have a slight infection in my eye, but I've been taking cream for it. My eye doctor says it's okay. But I had pain in my eye, and I was like, does it have to come out, doctor? Is this going to help?
Because I don't know if I can wear a face mask and an eye patch.
I have a pretty good Peter Falk impression. I only strengthen it.
Oh, you'd go right to glass eye then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he was like, no, it has nothing to do with your eye. It's just the fucking the phantom that is shingles is making you feel pain in your eye.
Oh, that reminds me, you could wear a Phantom of the Opera mask when you go out.
Yeah. Well, that's another weird thing about it is no matter where on your body you get shingles, it will only stay on that half. It can't jump the other half.
Oh.
Which I don't get. I don't get science. But anyway, so I'm still dealing with it. I'm on temporary leave from work. They're paying me a fraction of what I make to stay home, which is very generous of them. So, and anyway, getting back to the point, when I went to the doctor, he was like, you're not contagious, only to babies. Only to little babies.
So anybody who hasn't had chicken pox yet?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And in 1995, we started giving 1-year-olds chicken pox vaccine. So,
thank God for that.
Yeah. So,
I actually don't know if Henry got a chicken pox vaccine, and he's like fully vaccinated. So I don't know if that's part of the regular workup they give you, or if it's something like you can ask for. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
I mean, I have the documentation somewhere. I don't know off the top of my head. I just know they say Tdap to me a lot, and I'm like, that's good.
Sure. Whatever that means. Well, it's one of those things. It makes me feel old because it's a major revolution in medical treatment that happened after my birth. Like I was like, oh, people who never had chicken pox, right? I'm contagious to them, and my doctor was like, yeah, but that's like nobody. That's like little babies and crazy old people. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's nuts.
So I've got my shingles. You've got your baby. We're going through stuff.
We are going through it. I feel like we're always going through it because, no, this wasn't the last time we recorded, was the beginning of Corona. But we did record around the beginning of quarantine, and we were like, when's this going to end, gang? And here we are.
The answer was never.
No end in sight.
2020.
Hey, at least you and I have no place to go because of our current conditions. So
I know.
Staying home.
I'm just going to stay home and rack in the tens of dollars.
Oh, man.
So, well, enough about my illness and your newborn life. Let's talk about important things, like Mulan.
Wait, that wasn't the news? I thought that was the news.
Oh, sorry. That's my alarm. It says time to take my pain pill. I'm going to save that to later because I don't want to fall asleep during the podcast.
Oh my God.
Oh, boy. I take pills all day. It is wild.
Man.
So seriously, Mulan.
Are they out of their minds?
Disney thinks that it was a good idea to offer Mulan online, but only through Disney Plus. So it's $30, which is $10 more than like Trolls 2 was, or some of the successful movies that tried this already.
Mm-hmm.
It's $30 plus $7 a month or whatever for Disney Plus, because you can't get it without Disney Plus.
Right.
So we're talking about $40.
Right.
And no one, when I got Disney Plus, no one ever said to me that there was going to be a Disney Plus like store where I can do more purchases.
Right. Premium, they're calling it, like premium.
Right.
Content.
Top shelf. It's just like, and also like if you cancel Disney Plus, you don't get to keep your Mulan.
Right.
So now
you purchased a movie that you don't get to use. It's like you bought a digital copy that now you have no access to.
Right. If you want to keep Mulan, you have to buy it for the $30 and then keep paying Disney Plus until it comes out on Blu-ray or 4K.
Wait, but didn't they just announce they're not doing any like physical copies of things, or is it they stopped doing DVD production?
The article that I'm looking at is from The Verge, and it makes no mention to that, although I could understand, I could see them not making DVD anymore, for sure.
Right.
But I don't know I have not heard anything about physical.
Oh, they're stopping physical 4K releases for their live-action films. Cease production of their live-action 4K Blu-ray. So maybe it's just 4K.
Huh.
No more 4K Blu-ray releases from Disney as of 4 days ago.
But I wonder if that's just the 4K or...
Yeah. There have been reports that Disney is going to cease production, but that's not official yet.
Weird.
So it just seems the 4K Blu-ray. Maybe it's, 4K is probably not profitable, even though, I guess like the best quality one, but people aren't really paying for it.
But I wonder if they'll do regular Blu-ray.
Probably, although in that article it said that their sales of DVD and Blu-ray have halved since in the 4 years between 2014 and 2018. Sure. I'm sure, because everybody's buying digital copies.
Right.
So they're charging you twice for this product that's like a completely untested property, right? Like they're going on the popularity of Mulan, which I personally loved as an animated film and want to see the live action, but I'm like, does everybody like Mulan as much as I did? Because I feel like they didn't.
I've never seen Mulan.
It's great. It really is. But it was sort of like, and Jen could probably tell you more about this, but I feel like really overlooked. And
well, it kind of comes at the end of that Silver Age wave.
Yeah, but I feel like they also were weird about the character of Mulan. I feel like around the time I heard a lot about like her dressing as a soldier and like the joke they make about her being a cross-dresser kind of caused Disney to sort of like not create a lot of Mulan merchandise, and she sort of went away for a while.
Well, I remember you could find the Mike Pence review of it from when it first came out. Mike Pence had a talk show, a radio show, and it's exactly what you imagine it would be. I don't know, so I personally have no connection to Mulan. I know that there's no wise talking dragon in this, so that's not, they don't have that going for them.
Not great.
Onward was Disney Pixar, and it was out the same time as Disney Plus, but you ordered it like on demand. I don't know.
You could get it, I think, on demand separately from Disney Plus, or it just came with Disney Plus as your streaming service.
Well, Disney Plus, it like hit Disney Plus like 3 weeks later.
Yeah. There was like a little bit of a delay. So if you wanted to watch it on time, you could do it.
And that sounds that I think is a better model. What they're doing now feels
extremely greedy.
Yeah, like just give it to us outside of Disney Plus. You just do the thing you did with Onward.
I think it's going to backfire for them, though, because I want to see the movie, and I'm not going to pay $30 in addition to the streaming service I already pay for.
Right.
I'm like, how long are they going to hold out on that? I'm like, it'll be on there eventually. I think it's a test to see how much they can actually profit from this.
Oh,
and if it goes very poorly, I doubt they'll do it again, or they'll reduce the rate until people start paying for it. I feel like it's like an offer on a house, except it's the opposite. They're like making the offer extremely high, and then they're going to see how low they have to bring it before suckers start paying for it in addition to their service.
$30. I could only do 20.
Yeah.
What do I have to do to get you in this Mulan today?
Exactly. It's like, what is that when it's not, is it downloadable content in games? It's like you have to pay for everything, and they got a lot of shit for it in a Star Wars game. Oh, it's like loot boxes, except like to unlock, like it was like Luke Skywalker, you had to pay, and it's like this is the main character. It's like usually you have to pay for like these side characters and stuff. Like this is what they're trying to do.
Yeah. In-app purchases, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is we already pay for fucking Disney Plus.
Right. Right. Just like you paid for the video game up front. Now they're going to charge you more money.
Okay. So more bad news.
They're not getting my $30.
So this is from Gizmodo. Massive Warner layoffs gut DC Comics and DC Universe.
Oof.
The merger between AT&T and Time Warner into another monolithic media mega corporation has seen a massive wave of layoffs targeted primarily at Warner Brothers. This week, one area hit hardest overnight was DC Entertainment, with reports of huge swaths of staff at both DC Comics and DC Universe laid off. A Hollywood Reporter has word that a shocking third of DC Comics editorial staff were part of Monday's roughly 600 layoffs at Warner Media, including editors such as Brian Cunningham, Mark Doyle, and Annie Corey. The latter of which formed the major part of DC's complete rebranding and organization of its comics output in the establishment of the Black Label line a few years ago. Senior members of DC's editorial operations were also not spared. The Hollywood Reporter notes that Senior VP of Publishing Strategy and Support Services, Hank Cannells, VP of Marketing and Creative Services, Jonah Wieland, and VP Global Publishing Initiatives and Digital Strategy, Bobby Chase, were also let go. This is big. And it may not seem big, I think, to the average person, but I think it'll have ramifications in the future. Mm-hmm. The comic book industry has long suffered, and it's basically an oligopoly between Marvel and DC, and I'm not sure how Marvel sales are. I imagine they're about as good or bad as DC sales. But Disney seems to be sort of fine with letting it be whatever it is. Whereas it looks like Warner Brothers doesn't care about the comic book industry or wanting to be in the comic book industry. Mm-hmm. So you have two companies basically, and one of them just got, a third of it chopped off.
Crazy.
They say, and they've been doing some PR since saying, "Oh well, we're still in the comic business. We're still gonna make comics, but there's gonna be less of them, and we're gonna try hard to make sure the things we put out there have greater impact." I don't know what that means, other than if a book doesn't break even immediately, it's going to be cut if they even put that book out.
Yeah, I'm sure they're going to take far fewer chances. What's going to happen to their like the Vertigo line and stuff? The things that are doing sort of like edgier, kind of like, out of the mainstream. They're not doing Batman all the time. I wonder as
well.
Because I feel like if they don't have money to lose, then they're not going to gamble on, untested properties or kind of interesting, like weird comic lines or anything new, really.
DC Comics was not the only part of the wider DC Entertainment umbrella that was heavily hit by the layoffs. DC Collectibles, the merchandising arm of DC that creates action figures, statues, and other collector memorabilia based on DC properties that have been part of the company for over 2 decades, has been cut entirely.
Whoa.
As part of Warner Media's shifting focus to capitalize on the success of HBO Max, a vast majority of the staff working at the DC Universe streaming platform was also let go. Well, the whole thing that happened with DC Universe, which was their DC platform, almost all of those original shows are now on HBO Max.
Right.
So I don't know. Honestly, I thought that they were already gone. Who's still paying for it? What do they even have at this point?
Right.
DC on HBO Max, DC has its own folder with a ton of shit. So I think what people don't understand is like the comic books is where you incubate a lot of these narratives that then go on to be movies and TV shows. Now, obviously, DC's movies are not as popular as Marvel's movies, but DC's TV shows are pretty well known and pretty popular. And it's also a place where an artist can go. Yeah, I mean, I'm not an artist, but I'm thinking, like, what if you are an artist of this kind? Like, where do you go now?
Right.
Is it just done? It's a very, I guess we've talked a lot on this show, whether it be movie theaters or streaming, whatever. We've talked a lot about how the landscape of media is changing. And this is, I think, another thing that maybe was inevitable, but it shows what happens when you have giant multi-conglomerate corporations controlling everything.
I mean, do you think it was all because of the merger? Or like, do you think they would have cut it because of the merger anyway? Or do you think it's all because of like Corona and they're not able to produce the same amount of stuff they were producing?
I mean, it's literally Warner Media buys them and then like a turn later fires a ton of people. That says that Warner sees it as like fat that can be cut.
Right.
And, then there's also questions about like comic book stores, which suffer because of digital comic sales and also because of Corona. But comic book stores, I think, are they're like a watering hole. They're a commons for fandom and people. Comic book stores are like where freaks get to go and be freaks. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
I know a lot of things are gonna go away, unfortunately, and I think they're gonna be fewer and far between. Like we talked about movie theaters when I was on, I think the last time, and how it's gonna become it's sort of like a special occasion thing where like you go to the movie theater. It's in a weird way. It's sort of kind of becoming like when movies first started, where it's like you're gonna go to the movies, like, ooh, it's like a special occasion. But it's for the opposite reason. It's because it's so accessible now. It's like everything's in your house. The same thing with the comic book stores. I think unfortunately, I think it's gonna shutter a lot of those places. I
mean, maybe what will happen is that young artists and creators will, in a grassroots way, just start doing their own shit. And you know what I mean, just outside of this whole structure.
I mean, that's what happened with the record industry. Record labels still exist, but more and more, people just put their stuff right on SoundCloud, or they put their stuff on, other online platforms, and they, take off that way. They're doing things like at home recording or doing it with independent people recording their stuff. And for a lot of them, it's a lot more successful that way. And the money's going directly to them. They're not going to the record label. And then, they get like a pittance from whatever the record label decides to give them. In a weird way, it might be really liberating for artists and content creators to sort of do things on their own. I mean, definitely challenging to get it started, get it going. But I think it could be good. And then you figure, there are these things like Kickstarters and things they could fund the line if they need to.
I wonder when we're going to see something like an independent streaming service, like a streaming service that is not owned by any major corporation or media company, and it's just a co-op of artists and creators and funding like GoFundMe or something like that, and then I guess you continue funding it through the subscriptions, and kind of like independent movies or independent music. You would probably the big devices like Apple TV and Roku or whatever wouldn't support it, at least not right away. But if you did it through like, you could just get it on your phone or get it on your tablet, I think that could be really exciting, like independent streaming services.
Well, I'm looking it up because I wanted to make sure I got the name right. But today, Ryan Reynolds launched his own streaming platform.
Okay.
And it's through the what is it? Wireless carrier Mint Mobile. I've heard of Mint Mobile, but it's like a small wireless carrier. He purchased an ownership stake last year for some reason, and then decided, I don't know. Well, he's up to this. So he, along with Mint Mobile, launched his own independent streaming platform called Mint Mobile Plus, and it only streams Ryan Reynolds' 2003 movie Foolproof.
That is amazing.
It's the only thing it streams, and you can get it for free.
It's just a giant prank. He spent millions of dollars
basically, yeah,
on this prank.
Actually, do you have to pay for this streaming service? I wonder if you have to. Mint Mobile Plus. That's it. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm on. It goes Mint Mobile Unoriginals.
Oh, that's amazing.
Oh my gosh. And then I don't know if you can even see this. It's Foolproof.
Yeah.
Right? And then it says Originals. And then it's like all different, but it's all foolproof.
All different thumbnails for the same movie.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And there's more. There's just like, you keep scrolling and there's even more. You go down. Top 10 in U.S. Foolproof.
It's all foolproof. This is so good.
So I encourage you to check out Mint Mobile Plus. It's an independent streaming service. It's what we asked for.
That, you know what? That's my new obsession. Just last week, I rewatched Just Friends from 2005.
Okay.
Which I loved that movie when it came out, and I still find it really funny. But it's amazing how in just 15 years, there are things in that movie that you look at now and you're like, yeesh.
Is that the one with him and Amy Smart?
That's the one
is that the one where like the whole premise is that he was fat once?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. What's her name? Anna Faris is in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a scene where she's supposed to be kind of like a bad guy, but there's a scene where she refers to an Asian person as Hong Kong Phooey.
Wow.
And in 2005, I was like slapping my knee. I was like, I have no problems with this, and I never will.
Yeesh. Oh no.
There's also weird things with like consent in the movie. Because he's trying to he's a record executive and he's trying to court Anna Faris to come to his label, and she has a thing for him, but he doesn't like her that way. And he wants to spend time with this other girl that he loved when he was younger. So he keeps pawning her off on his younger brother, who I don't know what age he's supposed to be, but it's all weird. But I still think it's funny. I still enjoy it. Yeah. Ryan Reynolds, what a treasure. What a treasure.
He's making this whole thing a lot easier.
So the original creators of Avatar: The Last Airbender have publicly left the Avatar live-action series being produced at Netflix. And the fan community that was so excited about this is now not excited about it and have turned on Netflix and are even doing hashtags to try to just cancel the whole thing.
Just get rid of it.
And so the creators are Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko. And they were working with Netflix to recreate the original. I've talked about this before. I never thought it was a good idea. I'm not anti-remake, but to remake a TV show, do you remake every episode? Do there are rumors going around that Netflix wanted it to be more sexual or violent, but there's nothing to substantiate those rumors, especially because the characters are children.
Right.
But apparently, they did not like what Netflix was doing, and they left, which is kind of like a death knell for the series, because the fans are so felt so burned by the M. Night Shyamalan movie, which also the creators were sort of part of at the beginning, but then more and more M. Night Shyamalan took control and they were kind of pushed out.
I wonder what happened. Because in the statement that he put on Instagram, he's like, who knows? Maybe it'll be good. But I can tell you one thing, it's not what we want. So we're out.
I have the statement here. Look, things happen. Productions are challenging. Unforeseen events arise. Plans have to change, and when those things have happened at other points during my career, I try to be like an air nomad and adapt. Netflix live-action adaptation of Avatar has a potential to be good. It might turn out to be a show many of you end up enjoying, but what I can be certain about is whatever version ends up on the screen, it will not be what Brian and I had envisioned or intended to make. He then promises that he's not done with the Avatar universe.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, just make another era. Make another Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to do. And Netflix, man, they fucked up. And they have such heat because when the original series came on, it immediately shot to number one, which to me, I can see them reading as, oh, there's interest in this. But when it shoots number one like that, I also read that as they like this thing.
Right.
I don't know. That doesn't necessarily translate into give us this thing again. Korra just came on today as we record this. I'm about 5 episodes in. We will see how well that does. Probably well. I don't know. I a hashtag to cancel a show. I don't know how much that works, but I also don't. I don't know if Netflix says fuck it, let's do it anyway. Even though people seem to be publicly against it. I don't know what happens to this series now.
It seems like an expensive show to make.
Yeah.
So if people already like turning on it, I don't know that they will move forward with it.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be cheap for them if it fails.
No, and you've already got something. You had all the juice, and now it's all against you.
Mm-hmm.
And now eyes are on you to fuck it up again.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because it was fucked up originally.
Right.
The M. Night Shyamalan movie, which I only watched about 15 minutes of.
I think we watched the whole thing. It was really forgettable, but it was also really bad what I can't remember.
Yeah, it's no good. All right, let's end on a positive story. Disney Plus this November will be airing a Star Wars Lego holiday special.
Yay!
But not only that, the plot is an homage to the original holiday special.
Oh my god.
With the new characters. So Rey, Finn, and Poe are celebrating Life Day, and I believe they're going to Chewie's planet, which is what was the original plot of the original.
That is, yeah.
I think...
Was it called Kashyyyk in the original?
Yeah, it was.
It was, okay.
That's the shit that Lucas did really always have, like names and shit.
Mm-hmm.
The original special is infamous for being just wildly off-tone from the film.
What was his son's name? Like something like Scrubby or something weird?
Oh, Itchy?
Itchy. I think it was Itchy, yeah.
Yeah, they all have weird names.
And B. Arthur.
Yes, and B. Arthur, of course, played the owner of the cantina.
That's right.
I've had no problem with this in the least. I love Lego. I love that it's a Lego fucking. I hope all the stars of the movie come back and do it. No egos here. Come back and do this. Come on.
I feel like Oscar Isaac would.
Oh, yeah.
He seems like fun.
So it's premiering November 17th on Disney Plus.
For $35.
I believe it's free. The original special aired November 17th, 1978.
Oh, wow.
A lot of people realize that a lot of what happens in the original special, although now disavowed, is canon. Like Chewie's family is canon. He has a family.
Right.
He's just a bad dad.
He is.
Or I don't know. They live hundreds and hundreds of years. Taking 50 years off to go fight in a rebellion, it's like going out for milk. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal.
It's true. He just went out for a pack of smokes. He'll be back.
Yeah. I'm going to just go fight the rebellion or fight the Empire.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I think Star Wars needs to bring the people together.
For the holidays and after this trying year.
Yeah. Oh, so we looked at 3 trailers.
Oh, yeah.
You curated the trailers for this episode.
I did. Are we not going to Trailer Corner?
That's what we're doing right now.
We have to walk over. We ended on some uplifting news, but now we have to move. We have to physically move from the news desk.
Okay, hold on.
We have to go into the corner.
This is going to take me a minute because I'm on steroids. I'm very weak. All right, I'm over. I'm a little winded. Welcome to Trailer Corner.
You made it. I'm so proud of you.
Here we are. All right, Janine. Tell us about the trailers.
Okay, we had the first one. They're all streaming stuff because, like, as you pointed out, when I asked, are we not doing trailers? You're like, yeah, with the movie industry the way it is, like, there's nothing really getting released in theaters right now. But there's so much good stuff coming to streaming. So the first one we watched was The Devil All the Time.
My takeaway from this trailer is that actors nowadays are just so hungry to do real things. Because the cast is stacked. But
I know. That's the thing. I'm like, what is this
superhero
cast?
Movies. But they're just like, please God, I want to not be a superhero for once in my life.
For once. Yeah, it's Tom Holland, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Robert Pattinson, the new Batman. Jason Clarke.
Sebastian Stan, who's the Winter Soldier.
Right. Mia Wasikowska. Eliza Scanlon. She's doing a lot of stuff lately. She was Beth in the new Little Women. And
I saw the Little Women. I don't remember her, but
I've been seeing her name pop up in a lot of new projects that are coming out.
It seems like a little movie, yet the star power is amazing. Also, the guy who plays Pennywise in It, Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård is in it. Yeah, he's like unmistakable, even out of Pennywise makeup. You're like, oh, there he is.
His life is over. He's ruined.
I know. He's good too. His face is so distinct, though.
Yeah. What's this movie about, do you think?
You know, I kind of couldn't tell. I know it's based on a book. It seems super dark. It seems like Tom Holland is a young man with a past that's kind of dark. I believe Bill Skarsgård is his father in flashbacks. And because he's talking to another, like, it seems like he's being raised by people who aren't his parents, but he's talking to someone else and saying, like, don't you think it's odd how we became orphans at the same time or something? Like, I know what dad did, like his father did something.
The beginning of the trailer, Tom Holland's like, it's his birthday, and they're in this it's beautifully looking. They're in this dark room where they're really just lit by the lamp above them. So it's sort of like he's surrounded by darkness, and they give him a present, and it's something his dad brought back from the war, and it's a pistol. But I don't know guns that well. Is that an American pistol or a German pistol?
I don't know.
Because it's got that little skinny barrel. I was like, is that a Nazi gun? What side of the war was his dad on?
Right.
Or did he kill a Nazi and steal his gun? I don't know. I can't say for sure. I'm not a gun guy. But I was like, that looks like a Nazi gun.
I mean, maybe it is. There's also a lot of, like, religious symbolism. There's, like, a lot of crosses.
Right. Robert Pattinson seems to be a preacher.
A preacher, but like a corrupt preacher, it seems.
Right.
And then there's a guy taking pictures of women, and it seems like he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
It seems like an incredibly dark and bleak movie, and almost like Tom Holland is now gonna, like, eradicate all the evil people in this town. Because it's like in voiceovers, he's like, what I do now, I do because I have to, not because I want to. And then, like, at the end, he goes to see Robert Pattinson and is like, Father, do you have time to talk to a sinner? And he's like sweating. And I'm like, are you going to kill him? Like, what's going on?
Well, Robert Pattinson calls him delusional and says he's got delusions.
Right.
So I wonder if Tom Holland is just losing it. Maybe he's not dispensing justice or whatever it is he thinks he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe Pattinson is just a con artist. Because the point where he says to his grandmother, I don't know why I say grandmother, he says to somebody,
right,
he's as bad as the ones on the radio.
Oh, the preacher. Yeah. There's also a scene, like the little shot of Robert Pattinson, it seems like he's at somebody else's house at like a party or maybe like a dinner, and somebody has like a platter of food in front of him, but not like finger food to pick up, like a platter to be served at a table, and he like sticks his finger in it and like puts it in his mouth, and it's, I don't know if he's trying to be sexy, but it's, you don't do that at somebody's house.
That's disrespectful.
I was very upset by that.
I wonder if we have become so used to mainstream movie trailers giving us every bit of narrative information that we're thrown by a trailer that doesn't give us that much narrative information.
It seems like, narratively, I don't really know what's happening.
It gives us tone and style.
Yeah. And I'm sort of like, I'm getting information from it, but I can't really piece it together because I'm not really sure, like, timeline where everybody is and if everything's happening, you know, in flashbacks or flash forwards or simultaneously, and like what's happening, which I guess is a good thing, you know?
Yeah, it is. It's just something I noticed about my own expectation.
Right, because when you said, tell me what's happening in this trailer, I was like, I don't know.
Right. You don't know. It's just, you could come away from it, you know, the impression that you get from it is it looks like a dark world. It looks to be early 20th century. Well, if it's after World War II, maybe it's mid 20th century, like 50s. Yeah,
I also kind of couldn't get a grasp on like what era it was supposed to be, because there were some times where I was like, is this the 40s? And then it looked more modern, so I wasn't really sure what was happening.
But if there's flashbacks, that could be in the 40s.
Right. Yeah, but there were some things where, like with Tom Holland, where I was like, what year is he in right now?
Right. Robert Pattinson has really done the work of proving his ability.
Oh, absolutely. I love the direction his career has taken. I think he's choosing really, really interesting roles. And, you know, I think he's getting credit for being really good.
It almost reminds me a little bit of Heath Ledger's career.
Absolutely, yeah.
Of being like early on, being kind of like a heartthrob, and then being like, well, now I'm going to do other more serious things. So the next trailer we looked at was I'm Thinking of Ending Things, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, no, the second one I sent you was Woke.
Okay, you want to talk about Woke first?
Yeah, and this actually goes back to the thing we were talking about, where narratively I think I can tell you what's happening in this trailer, like pretty clearly.
Yes, as can I.
This one's on Hulu. So The Devil All the Time is on Netflix. It's coming out on Netflix.
And this is a series. Woke is a series.
Woke is a series. Everything's coming out in September, so I can't remember the actual date for The Devil All the Time, but I think it's like the 14th or something, so everything's relatively soon.
Woke is September 9th.
Okay.
It stars Lamorne Morris, who is Winston from New Girl.
Winnie the Bish.
So in this trailer, we have Lamorne Morris plays a comic artist who is, his star is rising, and he seems to draw these little comics about like a guy who's like toast.
Yeah, like little buttered toast.
Yeah. It seems like his audience is either mostly white. He doesn't seem to care much about who his audience is. He meets a fan who almost says, I thought you were going to be white. But then it's like, I thought you would have been taller.
Yeah.
And then he is out and about one day. He's just putting up, I guess, a flyer or looking at a flyer. And he gets tackled by the police because the police think he's a suspect for something he's not a suspect for.
Right. Well, before that, he's having a conversation with Zashir Azameda, who's playing a character who, I don't know, is like chatting him up or something. And he's talking to her about like, why do creators who are people of color, why do they have to always stand for something or, you know, make a statement with their work? Like, why can't they just, he says, keep it light. He's like, I like to keep it light. You know, I don't really like to get into like racial stuff. And she basically turns around and she's like, well, the reason you have to is because the world is like horribly racist.
Right.
And then in the next scene, he's like the victim of police violence.
Right. And he's quite literally woke by that experience. Because after that happens, he starts to have delusions where like inanimate things start talking to him and like have eyes
There's like soda bottles that are talking to him, like a mural on a huge mural on a wall, like has eyes and starts looking at him.
And he tells his friends about what's happening, and they're like, "Oh, you're woke.
You're woke now." Yeah.
And it seems kind of funny, kind of surreal. Actually, seems very surreal.
Very surreal. I was like, I was genuinely laughing in the beginning of the trailer, and then it kind of took a turn, but it was still funny. But, you know, it's like obviously saying big, important things. So I thought, you know, tonally it's sort of interesting.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Sorry to Bother You.
Oh, I've never seen it.
It's similar. I mean, just from seeing this trailer, I would guess Sorry to Bother You is much darker.
Mm-hmm.
But both use surrealism. I like the idea of dealing with this issue less with like maudlin sentimentalism and more with like just bizarre surrealism.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's becoming sort of a thing, because immediately, like even in just the colors of it, like you know, like the greens pop and the yellows pop. It reminded me so much of Sorry to Bother You.
Yeah, I wonder. You know, yeah, I'm looking at the like little thumbnail of the trailer I sent you, and I'm noticing that as well. Like his yellow T-shirt is popping off the screen. Like he almost looks like a cartoon. It's sort of like dealing with this very real, very horrible problem with like this cartoonish reality that they're slapping on top of it. It's sort of interesting.
Yeah,
or sort of like poking at the absurdity of the problem to begin with. Like, how ridiculous is it that we have these divisions based on something as stupid as skin color? Like, how surreal is that?
Yeah. He seems to, at least in the trailer, like, he begins to lose a little bit. It looks like he's at some sort of talk. He's on stage, and he starts flipping out and throwing things around.
Yeah, he throws the garbage can at one point. You see, like, towards the end of the trailer, he throws it to the storefront.
I wonder where the show will land in terms of the character, and not just the character, but through that, what they say about how to conduct yourself. Will the show say, in fact, you should be angry? That it is a positive change for this character, that he becomes, obviously being woke is positive, but that he becomes angry or what? I don't know. It's interesting to see, you know, where we'll go with that. Because you know, the character says, I like to keep things light, and the show deals with serious things, but the fact that like we have talking garbage cans and talking beers, like that's still pretty light. So I wonder if there's a sort of like let's deal with it in a funny way, or you know, how they deal with it will reflect an ideology of, you know, the creators of the show, how they think one should deal with creating content in a time like this.
Well, also it's based on a true story. So Keith Knight is a real person. He's a cartoonist. That's the Lamorne Morris's character's name.
Yeah.
And so it's based on stuff that happened in his life. So I'm sort of wondering at what point it will cross over, or if it will ever cross over, if it will just be like the story of what happened to him and like, you know, this narrative arc in his life.
Yeah.
And if it will enter the sort of present, like civil rights moment that we're in the Black Lives Matter movement, and dealing with police violence specifically, because it's a police violence issue that he faces. I'm curious to see how far they'll go into, you know, the present moment.
So the third trailer looked at was for a new film by Charlie Kaufman.
This one's also on Netflix.
I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Yeah.
A woman who's our protagonist is in a relationship.
That's right. Another really, really good cast, although I don't know the lead actress. I kicked out my husband and my son. I was like, hey, could you bring him outside in the dark or someplace else? No, at this point I feel, because now it's like the delicate balancing act of down here, he's interrupting the podcast. Upstairs, he's potentially waking up our other son. But I can live with that. I can't live with him ruining this. Too important.
Priorities.
Too important.
We're talking about a Charlie Kaufman film.
Come on. You don't get these every day.
So it's about a girl who I just looked up. She doesn't even have a name. She's just called Girlfriend.
Weird. And the actress's name is Jessie Buckley.
Yeah.
Only thing I could find, I mean, I could find other stuff on her, but the only thing, like the credit that I recognized was she was on the show Chernobyl.
She was also in Judy, that Judy Garland movie from last year, but I don't remember who she played. I saw
didn't see
that, but I don't remember who she played. She has beautiful red hair, and we hear her voiceover. She says more than once, "I'm thinking of ending things."
Right.
It seems like she's in a relationship with a guy who we don't know if he's good or not. He just seems pleasant. And for the holidays, they're going to visit his family.
Right.
She's in the place of like she's thinking of breaking up with him. And then when they get there, it's surreal. The family's very odd. The mother is Toni Collette. The father is
David Thewlis,
who is Professor Lupin, of course.
And he was in Charlie Kaufman's last movie. He was the star of it, even though it's like a claymation movie. Yeah.
Yes, that I actually liked that movie.
I didn't see that one.
That was also produced by Dan Harmon, which is...
Really?
Can you imagine just hanging out and drinking with Dan Harmon and Charlie Kaufman?
No.
Depths? Can you imagine the depths you would get to?
I feel like it would be insufferable.
Oh, yeah. Neither of them would stop talking.
And since neither of us can stop talking, I mean, who would be able to get a word in?
Yeah. The boyfriend, by the way, who's played by Jesse Plemons, does have a name. His character's name is Jake.
Okay.
So I wonder if the character, the girlfriend character feels like she's losing her identity within the relationship.
There's a lot of also very real, surreal stuff in this trailer.
Right. She sees like the dad. She says, "I see them as they are or as they will be." So like at one point the dad looks old. At one point the mother looks like she's a mother from the 50s.
Yeah, she looks very young.
There's a line about I don't think we move through time. I think we stay static and time moves through us.
Time moves through us. Yeah, there's like scenes where it looks like she's in a school or someone's in a school, and you can see that they're looking down hallways and people are like dancing and stuff, and it's like it's all like very dreamlike. It also sort of seems like it might be a horror movie. I was getting a horror movie vibe from it, and I don't know if it's just because I see Toni Collette in a dimly lit house, and I think like Hereditary.
Right. No, I agree with you. No, but there's a sinister vibe because it's like, what is up with these people?
Right, and sort of like, is she trapped here now? Like,
it also makes you think of Get Out as well, which is a similar setup of Come Meet My Parents.
Come Meet My Parents. Oh wait, something's really wrong here.
Right. There's a very surreal moment where the dog is wet and the dog shakes, but it won't stop shaking. It just keeps
shaking. It's almost like she's in a time loop or something, like when she enters the house. And then, did you mention the picture of her?
No.
That one's weird too. She's like looking at a family photo wall, and then she looks at this one picture, and it's very clearly like a little girl who looks just like her. And she's like, "Oh, that's weird. Like that looks like that's a picture of me." And then she looks at her boyfriend, and he's like, "No, that's a picture of me."
Yeah.
And looks at it, and then it's like, "Oh, it's him." But it's like looks enough like it could have been her, but it's very clearly a different picture in the shot right before it. So you're like, wait, what? Is she delusional, or is like something really, really odd happening here?
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's that thing when they're like at the like a Dairy Queen.
The cashier says like, you can leave.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have to go.
Oh, you don't have to go.
Yeah, so they're getting like ice cream. It's also like in a snowstorm at night. So there's this thing, like this feeling like you're in a snow globe almost, like there's no escaping wherever you are in that moment.
Charlie Kaufman. I mean, it hits all the Charlie Kaufman isms. I mean, because it does remind you a lot of Anomalisa, where this person is, going through these delusions.
Yeah, but it's also very like Eternal Sunshine. He does a lot with snow. And I feel like it's sort of, I feel like he likes snow as something like as an analogy for like fuzziness of the mind or something.
Right. Well, also think about like Schenectady, New York is about like a world within a world within a world.
Right.
So going back to what you said about a snow globe, it's like the idea of like you're trapped inside this tableau or something.
And the darkness is very dark. Like if they're on a road, it's just like blackness and then the snow illuminated in front of them by the headlights. Like you can't see anything else. So it's like they're really trapped in whatever like Twilight Zone they're in.
Have you ever seen Eraserhead?
No.
It reminds me, there's a scene early on in Eraserhead where Eraserhead, actually, I think his name is Henry.
Okay. Oh, that's who we named him after. I'm just realizing it now.
Henry. Yeah. Oh, I figured you named him after Eraserhead. He comes to his girlfriend's house, and there's a dinner scene, which is kind of hilarious if you watch it more than once, but it's just so weird and bizarre.
Over all the weird imagery that we're seeing in this trailer, like the voiceover of her saying, I'm thinking of ending things. I'm thinking of ending things, like over and over. It's like, oh, and then I don't know, you sort of feel like it's like a record skipping or something. Yeah. Oh, also Toni Collette laughing.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's great.
She is wonderful, but she's inappropriately laughing throughout the entire trailer, like saying weird stuff and then laughing really loud and like for too long. Like it's going on way too long, and you kind of see the girl like looking at her like, is she okay? Like, when is she gonna stop laughing?
Yeah. So that's Trailer Corner.
All right, we did it. All coming out in September on various streaming platforms.
Yep, that's the way things are.
That's just enough information we gave you, just vague enough. The month September, the streaming platforms, a couple.
When we come back, we'll do a chill sesh where we probably will just talk about our various struggles.
Yet again.
All right, see you in a minute. Welcome back to PCMC. I'm Mike Bongiorno. I'm joined today by Janine Gagliardi.
Hello.
This is the chill sesh.
I'm chilling.
Your life sounds pretty chill.
Super chill.
What's it like to breastfeed? Does it feel like someone's taking your life out of your soul?
It does. It makes you feel really, really thirsty, weirdly.
Well, that's when you have a nice cool beer, right?
Honestly, when you're doing it, that's the best time to drink. Yeah. If you're going to have a glass of wine or a beer or whatever you want, because that's the longest amount of time between when you are feeding and the next possible time.
Oh, okay.
So it's like by the time it gets into your breast milk, it'll have like worn out, or it'll be like negligible by the next time you feed. So it does seem and looks terrible, but it's actually the best time to do it to have like one. Don't get crazy.
I said that as a joke, and you got very defensive.
Oh no, you can totally do it.
I know.
At the lactation.
I know you do.
They hold lactation seminars at Rumsey for like new moms or moms who are pregnant, and they're like, let's answer some questions that you guys might not want to ask. And it's like, can you drink while breastfeeding? Yes, the best time to do it is while you're breastfeeding. Everyone was like, great, got it, 100%.
Little for me.
Don't worry about it.
Liquid in, liquid out. All right. So then, will the alcohol then make it into the breast milk eventually?
Yeah. It really depends on how much you drink. If you have like a glass of wine, eventually, you figure if you're timing it correctly, it might not, or if it does, the amount's going to be so negligible, the kid is not going to have like any effect at all. If you drink a lot, it will enter the breast milk, and it'll also affect them, and it will also reduce your supply. Weirdly, like if you drink a lot. A lot of good reasons not to do it.
Not enough though, right? not for me. So I don't know. It seems like a silly question, but have you had any time to consume anything while, breastfeeding and trying to keep this weeks-old child alive? Have you had time for a quick video game?
I'm just happy we're doing a lot of breastfeeding talk. I know Rito can handle it out there. Give him a shout out. He's a loyal fan, and I don't want to disappoint.
Hey, listen,
he's here for the motherhood content.
We're almost at episode 150 of the show.
That's incredible.
You know what I'm saying? When I first started, I was much more discerning on what we can say and do. But now I'm like, whatever, dude. Is it Wednesday? We got to get something out.
We got to churn it out, man.
It never stops.
It will never stop. Well, here's the secret about breastfeeding. It's just sitting down a lot with a kid in your lap. So really,
So stop complaining, ladies. Am I right?
Come on, everybody.
And it's gross. Do it in the dark at home. Turn the lights out. Put a blanket over your head.
Hide from society. Well, yeah, in the early days anyway, if you don't have any work commitments or things that you have to get done, it's not too bad. So with Henry, it really, I mean, it physically is tasking, but like I didn't have really anything to do other than feed this child. So I was like, okay, we watched a ton of stuff. Now it's really Henry that is sort of preventing us from consuming that much media because, you know, he doesn't sit around all day. So we have to like juggle this newborn and taking care of him. Despite that, we have still found time to watch stuff. So I have, I think, 25 minutes left of The Good Place. I'm halfway through the last episode, whenever you're ready. We watched the whole last season, like these last few days.
I enjoyed the last episode.
I'm enjoying it. We had to stop it because Henry woke up from his nap. That was the end of that. But Jason decided to go, and then Tahani decided to become an architect. So we're sort of like
spoiler alert.
You know, I never do that for stuff that's been out for a while. It's like, come on, everybody.
It's not been that long.
When did it start? Like, what, last year?
No.
It was this year?
I'm pretty sure it was this year.
I don't know. This is the longest year ever.
Yeah. I moments from that show and the last episode still stick with me. I still think about it and get sad. It's sad.
It's very well. So far, it's been very bittersweet. There have been I guess spoilers, but Jason's like his moment of clarity when he decides to go.
Yeah.
When he says that it felt like the air inside his lungs and the air outside of his body matched, and that's when he knew.
Yeah.
Jason is having a lot of profound moments this season. He was really doing the most this season.
I really love the idea that after your death, you can grow so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and there's a funny, Bill pointed it out. He's like, oh, it's Lisa Kudrow. Lisa Kudrow's in the last couple of episodes. Yeah. And earlier in the season, Michael, Ted Danson, is saying, he's like, the cast of Friends, or Friends the people from Friends never would have made it into The Good Place. And he's like, well, Phoebe would have. And then at the end, Lisa Kudrow is there. So that's kind of fun.
I had not caught that. And I believe she's playing a real historical figure.
Hypatia of Alexandria.
That was a very interesting episode, too. The idea that when you finally get to The Good Place, everything is so pleasant and nothing has any stakes. It's just pointless.
Right.
Very, very interesting idea. Right there at the end of the series.
I know. It really questions like how good would heaven actually be? Right. But how good is infinity?
Even as a kid, when I believed in heaven and hell and God and all that, I remember thinking, like, even if it's like the best thing ever, if I do that forever, the idea of forever always sounded bad, no matter how you cut it.
The idea of infinity used to scare the shit out of me as a child. As like a child, when I learned about heaven for the first time, like it, and I was like, forever? Wait, forever? And then there's no end. It never ends. And I was so fixated on this idea of forever. It freaked me out miserably. And like, even as a kid, it would cause me to have like a feeling of panic about it. Right. Like, I don't like the idea that it's never going to end.
Right. Some people seem to really love that idea, and I don't understand that. I still can get freaked out by the idea of space, and space just goes and goes, and you happen to be on a planet that's close enough to a star that life could grow, but space just goes forever and ever and ever and ever.
That's also something I would freak out about. Like when I learned that there is an edge to the universe. That they discovered an edge, And I'm like, but what's beyond the edge? I'm like, something
Right.
has to be beyond the edge.
That reminds me of a really cool Superman comic, which I hope they still are Superman comics now.
God.
It was, I forget when it was. I forget what year this was. This could be like 15 years ago, or whatever, that I read this. But some villain pissed him off so much that he was like, you know what, fuck it. And he grabs them and flies them to the edge of everything. And the way they depicted in the comic was their space and then beyond is just white. And he just leaves them in the white. And he's like, fuck you.
Wouldn't that be kind of like the, what is it called? The zone that they send them to, like Zod?
Oh, the Phantom Zone.
The Phantom Zone.
No, it's beyond that. It's beyond everything.
Well, okay, so I've been chilling with The Good Place. Music stuff. I know we don't talk about music stuff too often on PCMC, but there's been some good things we've been listening to.
Tell me.
Well, of course, WAP by Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. I was calling her Megan the Scallion, like an onion.
Okay.
That's not correct. I have very little sleep. So
Yeah.
Megan Thee Stallion, of course. That's been all over the place. But also Taylor Swift's new album, Folklore.
I've heard good things about this.
It's a very chill album. It's I'm surprised she released it in July because it's really like a fall release. It's like a perfect fall album to be listened to near a fireplace. And also the singer Orville Peck we discovered today. And I mean, it's canceled now, but like Harry Styles like invited him to do his Halloween shows with him this year. It's supposed to be in October of this year. So like he's been around, but he just released an EP in June.
And he covers his face, right?
He covers his face. He is a gay country singer who sounds like Elvis and Roy Orbison and Johnny Cash and like also Morrissey somehow.
Okay.
And his music is very, very cool, and like very country, but also, and like I'm not particularly a fan of country, but I really like the way his stuff sounds. And like sometimes some of his guitar stuff sounds like The Cure, and he's just like a really interesting dude. He's wearing a mask, and the mask has fringe down the front of his face. He's like the Sia of country singers.
Yes. He looks a little bit like that puppet from, I don't know if you've seen this, but have you ever seen I'm Scared, Don't Hug Me?
No.
It's like, I don't know if it was Adult Swim. It was one of those like weird one-off short films that like kind of looks like a kid show, but it's really not. And there's a character in it that like is just like kind of looks like a fry guy from old McDonald's ads, and that's what it reminds me of, like the frills. When you like something, so I always talk about on the show how like I don't have much of a music consumption practice. When you like something, like what do you like? You just have it on. How does one listen to music?
Walk me through, will you?
Earthling. How do humans listen to music?
Well, okay. So, for instance, with the Orville Peck thing, like today, I heard about him and then went to his Spotify channel and then listened to the most popular tracks.
Yeah.
And then determined I like that stuff. So then I started clicking around his albums and seeing anything that kind of looked interesting. And I saw on his new EP, he also has a duet with the Shania Twain.
Whoa.
Back in action.
That does impress me much.
One of my favorite memes of all time is like, could you imagine being Brad Pitt in like 1999 just minding his own business and Shania Twain comes out and burns you like that? Okay, so you're Brad Pitt. That don't impress me. She's like, oh my God, I feel so attacked right now. Oh, Shania, why are you gonna do him like that? So there's that way, and then there's other, like I am a Taylor Swift fan for sure. Like I've liked her last 3 albums in their entirety, so I listened to Folklore front to back, really liked it. Then I listened to this podcast called Switched on Pop. And they're like musicologists who like to really break down pop music. So I looked to see if they had a Folklore episode, and they did one the week that she released the album. So then Bill and I listen to that. And they break down like every track and like talk about the influences and like how it connects to stuff in her older work. And then like we listen to the album again. So that's like more of a deep dive if I'm doing like a deep dive on an album. But most of the time I'll just bounce around if I'm like discovering a new artist.
Have you played any music for your new baby?
I mean, we play the stuff. So you figure with Henry, it was much more like first-time parents. We're curating this, like, what's he going to listen to? You know, like what Beatles track is going to be the first music that touches his little eardrums, right? And then they have like Rockabye Baby, which is like lullaby versions of like Smashing Pumpkins or Kiss or, you know, whatever you want to listen to. And so we would play that stuff for him. Now it's like legitimately, like I've played WAP in this house loudly for Peter multiple times since he's come home from the hospital. And
I just seem to like it.
He loves it. But it's also like songs Henry wants to hear. Henry has his own playlist on Spotify, and what does he love right now? What's his favorite one? He likes the Happy Birthday song, and he wants to hear it all day.
Basic.
He doesn't even care if it's his birthday. He's been singing Happy Birthday to inanimate objects in the house, people he sees on TV. Just it's anybody's birthday. Cake, happy birthday to Cake. He saw a picture of a birthday cake. He thought it was the cake's birthday.
Sure. I mean, that's an easy mistake to make.
Yeah.
Usually the two together.
I mean, it's true. It must be Cake's birthday. But you know what? If the cake is even a year old, don't eat it.
Yeah. I've mostly been watching. I've been rewatching New Girl because you know, when you're sick, sometimes you just want something on.
It's comfort food.
Being sick is a great time to rewatch a show that you already like and you don't need to pay that much attention to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you said, it's like comfort food. So I guess I'm up to like season 3 already, and I still love it. It's a great show. But it's funny, a lot of what I remembered from the show has already happened. So I'm like, but it's only half done. And I know I watched it all. So did I retain nothing of the last couple seasons?
I mean, we talked about this and it sort of fell off. I would say definitely in the last season, but I would say probably the last 2 seasons.
I don't know if I agree. I feel like the comedy was always strong. The season or half a season or whatever it was that Zooey Deschanel is not in, because I think she left to have a kid, or I forget why she left. It's odd because she's the fucking protagonist of the show and she's not
right. Yeah.
Other than that, I don't know. I still think that I prefer the CC Schmidt storyline to any other storyline.
I love they actually ended up being the romance that I like the most on that show.
Yeah.
For sure. Because I felt like Jess and Nick should be endgame. I definitely think they should be together, but I think the show put them together too early. Or
sure, too early.
If they were gonna do that, then they should have done something that like shows rarely do, which is like then just keep them together because there's no reason to break them up.
They basically did like what Ross and Rachel did. Once they got them together, it was just like, now we're going to make them on again, off again for various stupid reasons.
Extremely stupid reasons, yeah.
And, you know, I love Jake Johnson. He's great as old Spider-Man. But I find second time around that the Nick character so annoys me. I don't know, maybe because I guess, I don't know if he's a millennial or Gen X or whatever, what you would call him. I guess millennial. But he
would be like the oldest millennial or like the youngest Gen X.
He's like got this whole like slacker thing, which I feel like is not relevant now. Like I feel like, I don't know, maybe the show is already showing its age, but like you live in a big loft and you're a bartender and it's like he should be struggling way more than he is. And I don't know. I feel like him and Jess don't actually go well together.
Yeah, I mean, I think they definitely they do have really good chemistry.
Yeah,
and I think like their first kiss is like, it was a fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic, like, sizzling moment. But yeah, I agree. He won't, like, that's the reason they break up. Like, he won't let her fix him because he wants to be accepted for who he is. But the quote unquote, like, fixing him is not like trying to change him necessarily. It's like making him pay his debt or his parking tickets, which is really not like fundamental to who he is as a person, or it shouldn't be. It's like, be an adult. You're like almost 40 years old. Like, please pay your parking tickets. And then she's like, are you a lifeguard? And he's like, I did it as a joke.
The dialogue is so sharp in the show. Nobody puts New Girl on the same shelf with Parks and Rec and The Office and 30 Rock, but I feel like it belongs there. It's maybe because it was on Fox, I don't know, but it's an underrated show because it's good for a long time. And it, like those other shows, I think it established its own comedic tone. Like, that show is the master of having 5 people say different things at the same time, but you kind of get what they're all saying. And now I'm up to season 3 where Coach comes back, which is kind of a big thing to have an ensemble and then just throw someone else into it. But I think it really works.
I think it works. I agree.
And what show do you know has 2 African-American males in the cast? That's not a show that's just predominantly all African Americans in the cast. Right. But yeah, I love Schmidt. I don't know why I identify with Schmidt.
Schmidt and Winston are my 2 favorite characters.
Oh, absolutely.
And them together, I mean, name a more iconic duo. I'll wait.
Yeah. I sent you, because I know you're a puzzler, I sent you earlier this week the clip of when Winston's doing a new puzzle, and he's like, I wonder what it's gonna look like. It's like, it's on the box. It's on the box.
Picture's on the box. Winston! Just like whenever he shouts Winston, his like histrionic highs are so perfect. And like, Winston is so weird.
Yeah.
He's so deeply weird that
they lean into it so much.
They know the characters that they're playing.
Winston, it says 6 and up. That's you. You're up. You're way up.
He's like, you're maybe the worst I've ever seen. One of the worst puzzlers I've ever seen.
These pieces are upside down.
He's like, this is a corner piece. What are you, blind? He's like, excuse me. A blind man would be able to feel the texture and the corners of a corner piece. He's losing his mind. He's like, this is an almond. Have you been trying to put this almond in the puzzle?
Are you eating these? Is it?
Oh, it's so good. I was kind of dismissive of the show for a while. Like, I didn't watch it until it was like a few seasons in. I ended up like finishing it while it was still on the air, but it was a Winston thing that made me want to watch the show. It was like when he was in his body cast. And it was some preview for like the upcoming episode of him in the body cast. And I was like, what is this? Who is this man? I need to watch the show.
So good. I just he got the cat Ferguson.
Oh, wait, I'm saying Winston. I meant Schmidt. But yeah, I love them both. Well, oh my God. Wait, did Winston start dating the bus driver yet?
Oh, the one with the bird?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, no, her name is Birdie, isn't it?
Her name is Birdie. She has a cat.
She's got a cat.
Yeah, I just watched the episode where they meet, and it's so fucking weird.
Like, do you have pudding in a cup? She's like, I never have pudding in a cup. He said, Nick is like, is that good? Like, I really want to leave. Can we leave?
She makes some bologna sandwiches.
He's like, I don't want to eat this. Oh my God.
So
it's such a weird episode. Oh my God. She's like, I have to get up at 4. He's like, in the morning? She's like, I drive a bus.
I love, I think it's the last season we learn that Schmidt's name is Winston.
Winston.
I need my
spoiler alert, Mike. Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spoiler alert.
That's like maybe the only spoiler of like the entire series. Like what Schmidt's name actually is.
Yeah, that's true.
But I do love that Cece tries to call him by his name. She's like, I love you too, Winston. And the two of them are like, oh, that sounds too weird. But it does make sense. It completely, I'm like, oh yeah, of course. It explains away why he always goes by his last name. It's because there's 2 Winstons.
Right. And I didn't even realize until that point that no one ever even said his first name.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw again the Michael Keaton episode. What an idea for an episode. And his mother wrote to him as Michael Keaton because he was sad about his parents' divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gives it to Nick for Nick to continue on the practice.
Oh, what's the email address?
Oh, fuck. It's something really funny.
It's like the real Michael Keaton or something. It's
like a pun. Oh, fuck. I'm going to look it up.
Bill, do you remember Michael Keaton's email
Oh, I got it.
You got it?
Keaton Potatoes.
Keaton Potatoes! Oh, man.
So
that's
good.
Incredible.
I hope that is his real email.
It's Keaton Potatoes. Oh, man.
Well, yeah, I've just been laying down and watching that. Of course,
it's good. I've done the opposite of that, which is we watched the entire 6-part documentary series on HBO. I'll Be Gone in the Dark.
I almost started that last night, and I was like, "What am I doing? This is not the time to start this."
It's definitely content warning for sure. It's rough. Very, very
But
frank.
I see my favorite comedian, man, Patton Oswalt is in it.
I know.
It looks hilarious.
I know. So, did you read the book, I'll Be Gone in the Dark?
No, because I also started that at like 2 a.m. and I was
never do that.
I was like, what am I doing?
Legitimately, it's what killed her, and that's not a joke. Michelle McNamara, the author, Patton Oswalt's wife, died basically because she was self-medicating to avoid having nightmares.
Whoa, I did not know that.
She died of an overdose.
Wow, I did not know that.
And he's been very frank about her overdose because she wasn't like, I guess, like the stereotypical like pill popper, right?
No.
Like a pill head, right? She was like a suburban mom who would take a Xanax,
right,
to get to sleep at night, and then she was prescribed Xanax, but she was self-medicating with like Percocets that someone else was taking, right? They were not prescribed to her. Mm-hmm. So she'd ask for like 1 or 2 so she could get to sleep at night. And it was essentially like this mixture of things that she was taking that she wasn't supposed to be mixing, not necessarily in huge quantities, but it was just enough to kill her.
But she's kind of responsible for him getting caught.
Well, they definitely credit her with keeping interest in the case alive and keeping it really current. And also it was her, it wasn't her, like she wasn't the one who suggested it to the cops because they were doing this already, but she truly firmly believed that he was going to be found through like a genealogy database.
Yeah.
But his name was not anywhere in her files. Like they ran it against her hard drive because the researcher she was working with to do her book, Paul Haynes, was like, I was sure that his name was going to be somewhere in the hard drive, but frankly, he was just no one suspect. Mm-hmm. Like he was nowhere on any list, and they just completely found him through a genealogy match.
Wow.
That's how they were able to get him. He was on no one's radar.
And he's in his 80s?
Is he in his 80s? He's either in his late 70s or his early 80s.
He thought he did it. He thought he fucking made it.
He thought he got away with it, but he didn't.
Motherfucker.
So I listened to the audiobook of I'll Be Gone in the Dark, and
play that for the baby?
I used to play it for Henry. I used to play all my murder stuff for him.
Yeah. Stranger danger.
He's like, oof. He's like, cadaver. I'm like, yep, that's a good word. That's a big word. But yeah, so I listened to the whole thing. So the documentary follows the book, like pretty much follows the trajectory of the book, and really gets into both her writing process and the case by case of the Golden State Killer. But then the last episode, well, the second to last episode is pretty much all about her death.
Uh-huh.
Because she died before the book was finished, and so then her researcher had to kind of cobbled the book together. Patton Oswalt also helped finish the book, and they brought in this crime writer, Billy Jensen, to come in and finish the book with them. And the book is fantastic. She's an excellent writer.
Mhm.
And people keep talking about like, oh my gosh, she's such a good writer. Like I can attest to it. Like she really, really was a very, very talented writer. So it's not just that she was interested in true crime and she was a good researcher. She had a really distinct writing voice and very, very talented. But so the second to last episode is all about her death. And then the last episode is about them catching the guy, because within a month or two of her book being published, this guy gets caught.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. It was like such an astonishing story. So they have all this information in the last episode. Like, even if you've read the book and you're like, I don't really want to rehash it.
Yeah.
I would say just watch the last episode then, because it's all new stuff. It's all about him. It's basically just like all about his life, who this person is. They got his ex-fiance to be interviewed.
Wow.
They got family members of his to be interviewed. Like, I didn't think these people were going to come forward and talk at all, and they do. And there's some like bombshells in there that I was like, whoa, I could not believe some of the things. It's crazy. His nephew is talking about a childhood memory that he has of a man in a ski mask at his window, saying like, don't turn around, go back to sleep. And he's like, I thought it was a dream. He's like, I didn't know what it was. He's like, I never told anybody about it. But then when my uncle got arrested for doing all these things, and he was close to this uncle, he's like, I'm telling my wife about this. And I'm looking at the map of the area where he was, breaking into people's homes and, raping them. And I'm looking, and it's all around our house. And then he's like, did he use our house as like a safe house while he was conducting his attacks? And he would just retreat there, or he would start from there. And like, that's a piece of information that I'd never heard before. So it's really like incredible stuff in the last episode.
Why do you think he's in? I mean, how many victims does he have?
13 murders, over 50 rapes.
Why do you think he's not as famous a name as like some of these other serial killers?
I don't know. She wonders that herself. I think
I didn't know anything about him until her book came out.
Well, the other thing is, I think until they had DNA, so like Zodiac, they knew Zodiac was like one guy in the 1970s. Like they knew Ted Bundy was one guy in the 1970s. It's like all in the 70s. Also, Golden State Killer was operating in the 70s as well. And we kind of talked about this, like why that was kind of the heyday for American serial killers. But in any event, unlike those big like heavy hitters, they thought at one point that the Golden State Killer was 3 different people.
Okay.
So none of them, I mean, the East Area Rapist would have had, he has a crazy high. As the East Area Rapist, he had over 50 rapes, which is just like astounding. Everyone's always so focused on the murders, but the rape,
that's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, and he would always break into people's houses in the middle of the night to rape them. So it's like he did a breaking and entering. He tied everybody up, and then he raped them. So it's just like horrifying. But so they thought he was the Visalia ransacker, who, and you can see like his escalation. So that was just like a B&E guy. The East Area Rapist, and the original Night Stalker, and that was when he was committing his murders. So they thought he was 3 different dudes, and then they realized it's one guy, and that's when he earned Michelle McNamara's name of the Golden State Killer, because he's all over the state of California, and he's doing all of these crimes. He's like insanely prolific in terms of the amount of crime he committed.
And is he on trial now?
He pled guilty as of June, so pretty recently.
He like you talk about someone like Zodiac. He like wanted fame, whereas did the Golden State Killer did he not want fame? Is that one of the reasons why? He's
one of those like BTK where his whole thing was terrorizing his victims. Like he wanted to inflict as much emotional and mental trauma as well as physical pain that he could. He's like one of the bigger pieces of shit in that way, where it's not like he's writing letters to newspapers and like toying with the police. He's toying with his victims, because he was also one who would make phone calls to people who he had attacked for like 20 years.
Oh my God.
Like he would call like 15 years later and like breathe into the phone and be like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, and just completely, his whole thing was he wanted to have power over these women, forever, like basically dig his claws in and make them know that they're not safe. He's still out there and he's going to terrorize them. And that night that he did that to you, well, that's not the last time you're going to hear from him. He's going to make sure that he still has power over you. Like that was his whole thing.
Wow.
And yeah, the amount of work that it took for this guy to just not only attack as many people as he did, but also just keep up with all these phone calls. Like he's calling these people for years. Oh, he would do stuff like during the attack, right? So the attacks would last hours. So, he would attack the woman and then she'd wait thinking, okay, he left. It's quiet. I don't hear anything. And then like maybe wait like an hour, right? Or like until they thought it was safe. And then they'd start to move to like undo whatever bounds that he put on their arms and stuff. And then he would jump out from behind like a curtain or something.
Oh my God.
Like he would stay in the house and be quiet specifically to like freak them out and terrorize them and scare them when they thought they were safe. So his whole thing was just terror and torture.
That is the scariest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Yeah. He is an astounding piece of garbage. And I don't like when people call them monsters because these are like human beings who are just big pieces of shit, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like making them into like mythic creatures who are like larger than life. I'm like, no, this is a man. This is a particularly shitty man.
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a You're Wrong About episode where they talk about serial killers and they talk about Ed Gein, who is so infamous, and he's not even technically a serial killer.
No, he's technically he is a serial killer because they think he most likely killed his brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he was more of a grave robber.
He was a grave robber. That's where all of his like skin stuff comes from.
Yeah.
And yeah, so he was product, not process. He wanted the body. He didn't really want the kill.
Right.
You can tell a product killer by the way they kill people. It's like he just shot. He like took 2 lives, but he shot them.
Right.
Like he just wanted it to be kind of over as quickly as possible because he was in it for the skins. Of course, the skins.
Right.
Like Dennis from It's Always Sunny.
Right.
You need to do it for the skins.
It's interesting because of his pop culture connection to like Hannibal Lecter or Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like people think of him as like, ooh, Ed Gein, and it's like Ed Gein's nothing compared to like the Golden State Killer.
Oh no, in terms of like body count and crimes, or even like intent. I don't know. He like Ed Gein was also Ed Gein is oddly enough, well, I guess not oddly, but he's the only serial killer who successfully pled insanity. Really? Yeah, because I think what people don't realize is even if you are like deeply mentally ill, like somebody like Richard Chase, right? You have to indicate that you don't know what you're doing is wrong to successfully plead insanity. And he did seem to know that what he did was wrong, but also like he would say things like, they gave me a real nice slice of pie at the police station. Like that's like all he would talk about. Like he just wasn't right. And it was kind of clear that he was not really clear on what he was doing. Right. It doesn't disavow, like he's guilty for sure, and he's not an innocent person by any means. But he was not okay, not at all.
And I think people were shocked at that time, and they were shocked because he was like a heartland kind of guy.
Sure.
And it was just like, oh wow, the people can be this way.
But he was also weirdly like genial and social in a way that a lot of serial killers aren't. Like he would go down to they think he was on the spectrum. There's no formal diagnosis for what was going on with him, but they do believe he might have been on the spectrum somehow because he was socially awkward. but he did have friends, like close friends, and he would like go to the bar. You know, it seems like it was like a very like Moe's Tavern type like local watering hole that he would go to. And the bartender is one of the women that he killed. She was sort of like a transient type character. Like she had been the bartender for a while, but if she picked up and left, no one was really surprised about it. And so that's what they assumed happened when he killed her. And they're like, oh, it's like, and he seemed to kind of be like sweet on her. Like he would say things to her and things, and she would sort of flirt with him. But the guys at the bar were like, oh, you know, maybe if you asked her out on a date, she would have stuck around. And he would say things like, oh, she's back at the house right now. She was.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's,
and people were like, oh, Ed, you've got a crazy sense of humor.
Exactly. They were like, oh, that's Ed, because he's a Wisconsin guy. So, you know, they have those fun accents.
Wow. Well, this has been a great segment.
It's super chill. It's always super chill.
Let's take a break and we'll come back with Obsessions.
45 minutes of murder.
Welcome back to PCMC. I'm Mike Bongiorno. I'm joined today by Janine Gagliardi.
Hello.
PCMC is a podcast available anywhere podcasts are found. So if you like what you hear, please subscribe and share this show with your friends and your enemies.
Send it to your enemies mostly.
Okay, so this is Obsessions. These are the things that we are currently obsessed with.
Mm-hmm.
What are you currently obsessed with?
Well, the other thing I watched was the Umbrella Academy, the second season.
Tell me about it.
So now you've never watched any Umbrella Academy, right?
Nope.
Okay. So it's on its second season, just came out a couple weeks ago. And it's based on a comic book series by the lead singer of the band My Chemical Romance, Gerard Way.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabriel Ba is the other. I'm not sure if he's the writer or the artist, but it's sort of like an X-Men type school for these gifted and talented supers, like super kids.
Yeah.
They were all born on the same day to women who were not pregnant the day before. So they're all these sort of like miracle babies. And at birth, they're adopted by this mysterious man whose name is Reginald Hargreaves. And he seems to know that these kids are going to be super powered because he travels the world to find them and adopt them immediately. And he gives them all numbers, 1 through, 7 or 8? 7, 1 through 7. And he trains them. He trains them up to develop their powers and to become like a superhero team, basically. But the first season starts at Reginald's funeral.
Mm-hmm.
And you find that the group is disbanded. There's been a tragedy along the way, and they're no longer crime fighting, and they're all kind of broken in their own way. And then one of the siblings returns and says, like, we have to stop the end of the world, and that's like the whole thrust of the first season. And now the first season ends with the end of the world event kind of occurring. And in order to stop it, they have to travel through time. And now the second season is about where they ended up with the time traveling. And it has a lot to do with the Kennedy assassination.
Sure.
Because it's there in Dallas in, was it 68? Oh, 63. They're in Dallas. They time traveled to Dallas, Texas in 1963. And it's pretty much about what they're all doing in that time, how to get back, and the new end of the world thing that they have to prevent.
So you finished the second season?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a really fun watch. It's a lot of fun. It's an easy show to watch because somebody compared it to Whose Line Is It Anyway? It's like everything's made up and the points don't matter. Like that's kind of the show where it's like the time travel logic doesn't really hold.
Yeah.
the stakes are kind of always changing in the sense it's like they kind of move the goalposts a little bit. People's powers are sort of inconsistently strong or weak at various times. And I don't know, you're sort of always like, wait, what are the rules? Are we allowed to do this with time travel, or are we not allowed to do this? And none of it matters, because ultimately it's a very fun show to watch, and that kind of makes up for the sins of I guess the writing. Although the writing's not bad. It's just, they kind of can't keep up with what they've created. But I actually really enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun. I like the characters very much. And Gerard Way, the creator, and also he's a musician, is the music director. And one of the more fun aspects of the show is the soundtrack and the songs they choose, or he chooses. And I always I laugh and I'll roll my eyes because the song selections are so on the nose. And it's shamelessly on the nose. So there's a scene where one character is in a mental asylum, mental institution. It's Gnarls Barkley's Crazy.
Of course.
It's sure. There's one scene where a character is literally fighting himself because of the time travel paradox. He gets to meet himself. And the song is Dancing with Myself, of course.
Do you think that there's irony here, or it's just not?
No, I don't think there is, because it's first season and second season. They're hilariously on the nose, but I enjoy it.
Sure.
I enjoy it. And then there are just some weird ones. There's a really kind of gruesome fight scene set to Everybody Backstreet's Back.
Okay, that's awesome. I want to watch Umbrella Academy. I'm in this weird place right now with the Shingle life where I feel like I don't want to start a series that's new, although I just started watching Korra. But I don't know, I feel like anything that really takes my attention, I'm just going to get winded. I'm just going to get tired.
I find Umbrella Academy to be a very light watch, even though it has the potential of being very complicated, but ultimately none of the stuff matters anyway. It's just fun to watch.
Sure.
So it's why not get into it?
So my obsession is the animated film Fantastic Planet from 1973.
Okay.
This film it was a French-Czechoslovakian co-production.
Okay.
Although I believe all of the dialogue is in French. I watched a subtitled version of it. Fantastic Planet, or its French title is La Planète Sauvage, the savage planet, or the wild planet.
Okay.
Is a sci-fi tale based on a novel about this planet where these blue giants live. And they keep and there are humans. But there are some humans that they keep as pets, but they're very giant, so we're like mice to them. So there are some humans that they keep as pets, and then there are the wild humans that are just sort of out there that they try to exterminate as much as they can. And they are this intelligent race. They download information right into their brains. And they also, their whole sort of life is built on just this practice of meditation. Story is about Terra, who is, when we first meet, actually the very first scene is this woman running with her baby. Then a giant blue hand just flicks her, and she just dies. And it's whoa, what is this? And then her baby is taken by one of these people. They're called Drogs.
Drogs. Okay.
R-A-A-G. And kept as a pet. And then when he gets older, teenage years, he runs away and joins the free and learns to scavenge. He steals the learning device from the Drogs and he gives it to the other humans, so now they can learn.
Okay. So he's a Promethean type character.
Yeah. For every 1 year, human year is only a week for the Drogs.
Oh wow.
So so the humans grow so much, and also humans fuck and have babies. So like that's a real problem for the Drogs.
Mm.
Eventually, like they learn how to like make rockets and shit. Having seen this now, it makes me think of so much sci-fi I've seen since then that is clearly derived from it.
Oh,
like,
wow.
Like,
I'm looking at I'm sorry. I'm like, I know you can see me looking off screen. I'm looking at pictures from it now.
yeah.
And the animation style is wild. It looks really interesting.
It's done by, it's the same way, actually, it influenced it. If you're familiar with the animation, you would see the interstitial animation on Monty Python show.
Yeah, the Terry Gilliam stuff. It looks a lot like that.
Yeah, and that came from this.
Yeah, I can definitely see the influence for sure.
Basically, instead of drawing everything, you draw like cardboard cutouts and then do it like stop motion.
Okay.
So you're moving the cardboard cutouts, which gives it a very flat, uncanny look. But it's very beautiful and very sort of, especially like all the stuff with like the actual planet itself. I see a lot of Rick and Morty there because there's just weird plants that are alive but not, and just like all sorts of weird shit. And you know, the storyline in Solar Opposites about the little people living in the wall.
Oh yeah,
I feel like takes a lot from this. Even like, you know, The Simpsons, like where Lisa has the people in the petri dish. It's just beautiful animation. It's fascinating, and I honestly, to be honest, I never even heard of it until I saw it.
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
The music in it is crazy too. It's been and it's been sampled by other artists. It's been used in hip hop. It's a really amazing score. It won the I forget what prize it won, but it won a prize at the Cannes Film Festival the year it came out, 1973.
Oh wow, that's huge for an animation to be recognized so early on.
Yeah. In 2016, Rolling Stone magazine named it the 36th greatest animated film of all time.
Wow.
It's really beautiful. It is savage. It's just trippy, man. It's trippy. It's trippy sci-fi. I really dig it. I can't stop thinking about it. I would totally suggest it. It's on HBO Max.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, because HBO Max has a Turner Classic Movie section.
Ooh.
And I believe a couple years ago it was restored, so it looks very good. And it's, you know, luminous. It's just like what a joy.
It's really interesting, especially when it's something that doesn't seem. I mean, obviously, it's well revered in the circles of people who know about it, and at the time when it came out. But it's so funny to hear about how obviously influential this is in the world of sci-fi, and like it's so under the radar.
Right. How did I fucking miss it? Anyway, it's amazing. I would absolutely recommend it to anybody. If you do drugs, try it with drugs.
Let us know how that goes.
Yeah, it's gonna fuck you up.
I mean, it looks a little like it would scare me if my mind was altered, because it looks like it would scare me a little now.
Yeah. But it's melodic. The music will get you there.
Ooh.
So that's my current obsession. Fantastic Planet from 1973.
Very cool. Very, very cool. You look like one of those giants right now because you're in blue light.
Yeah. All right, Janine, thank you so much for taking time out of breastfeeding to come.
That's all I can do.
To come and be on the podcast.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. PCMC is a podcast of we end every episode by saying,
go bye-bye.